Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly. Uh, I am sorry that I couldn't start the usual way today because I've literally I've literally been driving for the most part of today. So I'm just getting to sit down behind tank. And the only reason I wanted to get on the air today was because there was some very vital information that I wanted to pass across to people in the group. And one of such is what to expect in the next 4 weeks. So beyond all the news items, I mean, you probably had a number of things that have happened during the week, like Facebook changing their company's name to Meta because they want to become a metaverse company, and they want to have a piece of the crypto pie. I don't think it's going to be easy for them because when you are big, when you are big, just like being a whale. When you're a whale, you can't move around like a small fry or like a shrimp or like a dolphin, even because of your share volume and size. So for companies like Facebook, it's a bit difficult to react to change. It's not that they can't, it's just that the scale that makes it very, very difficult for them to react to change. And because of that, it takes them time. It really takes them time to be able to adapt. And even when they do, they many a times do not get it right. And the reason they don't get it right is because of that sheer size, they don't have the fillers on the market. So they can't move at the same pace like a startup would move. And that's just one of the disadvantages of scale because the bigger you get, the more difficult it becomes to react in a nimble manner to changes. So I think that was one of the biggest one. MicroStrategy, you probably heard as well that they added 9,000 Bitcoin in Q3, bringing their total to about 114. And they're not planning to sell, obviously, anytime soon. And another thing I think is of worth in terms of mentioning is the situation with meme tokens. So hold on a second. I just remember that I wanted to put on my video. I wanted to put on my video today because I don't have my slides on. So for people that don't know how my face looks like, you have an opportunity to today. Anyways, so as I was saying, it seems to be the era of meme tokens because so many meme tokens have been flying around in recent days. And the reason for that, one, if you observe the Bitcoin dominance that had like you find out that Bitcoin dominance has been coming down in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more like in the last 10 days. So it's peaked at 47% and has been coming down gradually since that time. And because of that, usually when Bitcoin dominance is coming down and overall market cap is not significantly reducing. Sorry, let me show that. Yeah, so you can see that over the last 10 days as well, we've not really had any reduction in overall market cap. What that does and what that means is that you are in a bear, no, not bear, altcoin season, as we say. Altcoin season meaning the price of Ethereum is not coming down and altcoins are starting to, I don't want to use the word malfunction, but they're starting to moon, as people will call them. The altcoins generally are starting to gain ground because Bitcoin is not going anywhere, seemingly, and then there is money coming in. So as the money is coming in, what is happening is that the market makers have set like a sell ceiling over the other books on the exchanges. So no matter how much you want to buy, there's a lot available at the ceiling for that period of time. So it sort of cools off in a way. It cools off the price of Bitcoin, and then it gives altcoins the time and the chance to react. So you find many of the altcoins that have been dead or near comatose since May. I've started coming alive. So, I've received calls from all sorts of coins today. You have things like even Safe Moon coming alive. There was one coin that, in fact, I don't think that coin ever made it past Hospit, the last peak. I see that it started to grow. It did like 120% yesterday from its depths where it has sunk to. So you have this large amount of altcoins moving. And because just before the crash in May, we had a ton of meme coins that were just being freshly minted, quote unquote. So they were just coming into the market. Many of them had not done, maybe like, okay, Shiba had been around before then. So Shiba had gained some ground. You had things like Kisuke, you had Kishu, you had Safe Moon, Safe Mars, Safe BTC, many of them like that were coming into the market, but have not had a chance to really, pump. Some of them just pumped on the day of the launch, and then they crashed with the market when the market crashed. So this season is providing an opportunity for them to, shine. As a result, as I've said, enjoy it while it lasts. First and foremost, I would say that, if you have Shiba position, I think you should take some profit off the table. It's not a financial advice, obviously, but when any coin, and that's not just Shiba, any coin that goes ahead and makes number 10 on overall coin market capitalization, uh, it has nowhere else to go. You can't override the market capitalization of Bitcoin or Ethereum as an altcoin. So if you already find yourself in top 10, there's nowhere else to go. And usually what happens is start selling off at that point in time. So I'm not trying to, sell forward, but it's just the reality. When crypto.com coin got to top 10 in 2020, that was when it started falling off. And it never came back since then. So it's important to be aware of that for all the newcomers. When a coin gets to number 10 and it's not a it's not a known long-term utility coin. I understand, the stuff around Shiba Swap and the burning mechanism and all that as a way to reduce supply. But it's pertinent to note that when something has market cap that is top 9, it's in a very, very large position. And usually people will take profits. Like a known mentor of mine says, you either take profit or allow others to take profits. So if you've made money in Shiba, bank your profits. I won't say more than that. Concerning the other meme coins that we've been talking about, I think we still have a few months or a couple of months for them to play around before things start going south. And it's important for you to know as well that if you bought any of those coins, if you're in profits, you might want to take out your profits and take out your capital and leave, house money on the table, or take out if you've done more than 100x, I'm sorry, 100%, take out a bit, maybe your initial capital and some bits, just, enjoy your capital. That's what I'm saying, because the market is going to wind up in the next few months. And what is going to happen is that we're going to have significant crash in the price of Bitcoin, which will then drain all the other altcoins of whatever life that they have in them. So it's important to note that this is going to happen, and you have a plan, basically. And for people who have been on many of the classes, I'd explain to you that you need to have your strategy in terms of long term, short term, and medium term for your crypto investments, and determine what exactly you want to do uh, with the stash of cash that you will have made at the end of the bull run. Because if you don't plan, they say if you don't plan to fail, or if you fail to plan to fail. So it's important that you also have that in mind. In terms of hold on a second, where's my I need to get a screen. In terms of overall market cap, we've reached new all-time highs this week by getting to 2.73. That's we've never been in that zone before. And right now, I would say we've literally traded 7 days above the previous all-time high. So um, if the next 2 days close above 0.5 trillion, it means that we're going up. And like I said before, the near-term target is 3.8 trillion. That's the lowest it can be, to be honest. And what that means, just talk about the price of Bitcoin. One of the reasons I still came on the call today. What that means is that you can expect to see Bitcoin. Let me look for a better chart. Can expect to see Bitcoin the region of 75,000 in the next 7 days. If you remember, I mentioned earlier on that was 2 weeks ago that I expected us to go to 67, and then I expected us to correct back to 57. I don't know if you guys remember, but you can see that we actually went back all the way down in that flash crash to 57 or 57,300, something like that. I was laughing yesterday was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? 7,200 plus. When it happened, and somebody was like, "Oh, what the heck? What's going on?" And I was thinking to myself that these things are programmed. I mean, these are AI bots that are, driven by algorithm, and it needs to react to market pulses and Fibonacci levels and Elliott wave moves. So it makes sense that if we touch 67, there was very high what's it called? High probability that we will touch 57. Now that we've touched 57, this is the weekly chart. I think we're going to close the week definitely above the levels we are now, because we're going into the weekend now. We have about, give or take, 3 hours before close of business in US, which means that even if we close at 63, whatever price we open next week, we will still be above the low of last week, which was 60K. And I see that there's a lot of I call it buy wall, or it's a huge buy wall in around the 60K area, because if you observe, let me go to dollar chart. If you observe the hourly charts of Bitcoin, you'll find out that, so if this is 60K where I have my cursor, so you find out that the price had not been able to close below 60,000 since practically since yesterday. Tested 60,000 twice yesterday, went as low as 57, but the buy wall succeeded in holding the price up above 60K. So that tells us that we have support at 60K, and the 50s we were looking for already happened in that flash crash to 57. I expect this to happen because we have a trend line coming in from when we were at 67 at the all-time high on the 21st or the 20th of October. So now, because we've not broken this trend line, I expect that the price will come back and try to take support at 61. It already looks like we're lining up for 61, because you can see the price is going up, and we've not come back to 60K. So each time the price went to 60K, it was going back up, as shown by those long wicks down. It was going back up and was being bought up at 60K. Most likely, institutional investors and market makers are buying up or bulls. Bullish market makers are buying up at 60K, and then it's inevitable that if you can't break up, you have to break down. And if you can't break down, you have to break out or break up. So now, in pure technical terms, this looks like breakouts, a typical what you call test break and breakout, meaning we've tried to break out. We didn't break out. So we broke out of this first trend line. We got to the edge of another trend line. Now we are coming to retest the lower one. If we retest the lower one at 60K or 60, yeah, 61,000 or 60K plus, and we don't succeed in breaking it like before, it means that we're going to have something like, I don't know, we're going to have something like, yeah, we're going to have something like this. So the price comes down here. Just price comes down here, then it takes off. If we don't break this lower trend line, that's what's going to happen. And when it takes off, definitely going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more than this. It's going to take off to like, let me get back to, it's going to take off big, like really, really big. Because as I said earlier, the market seems to be following. So yes, I expect the move up to be like this. There is another chart that I have. I think for you the trajectory of sorry for the too many lines analysis. On this chart, I was showing the trajectory of price. Now I have to look. If you see this ghost pattern, I was saying that once the price drops down, which it has done now, that we're likely to go all the way up on or before the end of the year. Many people are already saying that expect Bitcoin to do 100K in December, more than 90K in October. I think you'll probably try 100K in December. I mean October. Sorry, November. I'm going to say, and then maybe try to slink for 200 plus before coming back to close at 100K in December. Whichever way, I think next 2 months are the most critical part of the bull run, and you must be prepared mentally and emotionally. You must be prepared to take profits. And the reason I keep saying this is because, especially for people that have just been stacking and stacking and stacking and buying and buying, and they're not spending any of your crypto, you're going to look at your account and it's going to be too good to be true, and it's going to release a lot of it's going to release a lot of dopamine in your brain, and you're not going to want to touch it. It's just like, the rich man who's made a lot of money and just wants to stack it and keep looking at it. That, oh, I've done this good for myself. So it's important to know that it's internet money and it's fleeting money. You need to be able to bank it to keep it, and the time to harvest is very limited. If you miss that window, you might be holding the bag for another 4 years. So it's important that I mentioned that. I think that was one of the key things I wanted to say. So from where we are now, I see that, like somebody said, so let me show you the other chart. That one is really condensed. Bitcoin needs to close the month above 58K, which is obviously going to happen. So right now we're on 62. That's why the arrow is there. So really and truly, we just need to close the month above this 58, the all-time high. Let me draw the line. The previous all-time high that we had in May. So if the month close be above that, I think we're good. In terms of possibility of retest, I think that retest is probably going to happen in the second month or second week of November, after which we must have gone maybe another 12 or 14K higher. So this is the weekly view. Like I said, we've broken through now. We've sort of retested it with that week down to 57. We might not get another retest that is as deep as 57. We might get one at this level, which is still 60,500. But obviously, we're going to touch in the first few days of the following month. We're going to touch all-time high, probably 74, 75, 75. Yeah, it's 75 on that. And then what will now happen? Take another correction because by that time market will be overheated. Already the market is overheated. This week I was going to talk about, yeah, I guess I'm going to push it partly to next week. I'm still going to talk about it briefly. I was going to talk about funding rates and how it affects the markets. So funding rate is like how do I put it now? Is the rate at which the exchanges are borrowing money to leverage traders. I have it open somewhere. Can't find it. Or is the rate at which, let me just Google rate of, I'll bring up one of the screens. Is the rate at which exchanges are borrowing money to leverage traders? Who are leverage traders? Leverage traders are the people that borrow money from exchanges to trade. And it's a two-edged sword. It's a two-edged sword, really, because if you have $5 or you have £5 and you say, I want to borrow £5 from the exchange, and then exchange will borrow you £5 and you enter the trade for £10. If you make 100% just for hypothetical purposes, what it means is you make 20 pounds, but you only need to pay back £5 to the exchange because that's how much you borrow. Plus the funding rate quota. The funding rate quota is usually like a daily fraction that gets collected from everybody that has open position. And then the rest of the money is yours. So it's usually I think it's very attractive to retail traders that you can borrow money and take a position on the market. But as I said, it's a two-edged sword. It can go either way. So you can put in your $5 and collect $5 from the exchange. If the market goes your way, you make $10. If the market goes against you, then you're in trouble. So this site shows the funding rates. Anytime funding rate is red, it's not good for the market because it means that the exchange have borrowed out a lot of money to leverage traders. And that means their positions are heavy in a particular direction. So when it's red, it means that usually there's a lot of long positions that are on leverage. Now, why is this a problem? It's a problem because it distorts the price dynamics of the underlying assets. So if let's say for Bitcoin, if the funding rate is so high, you are not able to get the real spot price because people are leveraging to buy temporarily. Now, when those positions get closed out, either through what we call funding rate resets, or when they take position, the price drops sharply. So to prevent the price from dropping sharply, the exchanges themselves set up bots that look at these funding rates, and based on the funding rate, they take short positions with very huge amounts of money. What that then does is that the guys that are on leverage with big positions and don't have funds to cover it, they get liquidated. That's the word. They get wiped out, meaning they lose their money and they lose the one they borrowed. So of course, but the way this thing is structured is before the exchange loses their money, they will collect their money first before collecting your own. So whichever way, the exchange always watches out for themselves, even though they're the one taking the short positions against you. So when those positions close out of their long, they add to the magnitude of the short positions that are ongoing. And that's why the prices drop very sharply because many positions are being closed at the same time out of liquidation. So when you see this is just this about 4 hours ago, this was neutral. It was only Binance that was red. All of it is red again. So this is usually a sign that there will be some correction. People who are, high traders, there are some people who are leverage traders in Bitcoin, and it's like substance abuse. They can't stop. They can't stop it. So the market comes once in a while to reset their brain, but it is what it is. So right now, yeah, highest funding rate is 0.05. That's so high. So funding rate is supposed to be around 0.01. Really, If it goes beyond 0.01, then there's a problem. And you can see funding rates are black when it's 0.01 and it's neutral. When it's below 0.01, it's green, which means market is going to be bullish. When it's above 0.01, like all these ones now, is red, and it means there's going to be a correction. Now, it might not be a massive correction, like in fairness, what we had yesterday. Right? What we had yesterday was just a correction from like this. What we had yesterday was just probably 2% or 3.5% correction. So from the point the market opened big, okay, 7% correction on the price. And the reason it happens like that is that the exchange algorithms and bots are trying to reset the funding rate, because once they wipe out all the leverage traders, all the funds come back to the exchange again. So they don't have any money out that has been borrowed. So it's a way that the exchanges use to protect themselves as well. Make sure that they are not overly exposed to traders who have borrowed money and then be at risk of losing money. So that was the main thing I wanted to talk about regards to funding rate. The other thing was the aware of the fear and greed index. So fear and greed index is also telling us how well the market is doing in terms of sentiment. So when the market is in greed, like we've been for some time now, so you can see we're in greed. Last week we're heavy in greed, 75. We're actually at some 78. Last month, you see, last month we're in extreme fear. And that was why I said if you bought Bitcoin at the beginning of the month, you will be at least 40%. Let me calculate it. What's that one? At least 40%. I was thinking about it today, yeah. I think 40% of your market, your trade. So I said if you open position at 43,788 and the market closes today at 40% of. If you targeted 50%, you actually will have hit the target because the market has gone 50% and it's now down to 40. In the same way, next month, take notes, next month, I see the market going as high as 93 or close to 100%, close to 100K. So if the market opens at 62K for the month of November, then we can be sure that we can have, hold on a second, we can have another 50% move, most likely, from there, which will take us to, yeah, which will take us to the 90s. So that's my outlook in terms of where the market is. Ethereum is a bit different because people are suddenly realizing that Ethereum has a lot of institutional backing. And a lot of institutions that are feeling that they're losing out or that they lost out on Bitcoin are now trying to position in Ethereum. So if you look at the chart of Ethereum and Bitcoin side by side, you find out that Ethereum is no longer reacting as badly as you used to when Bitcoin crashes. So all these places that Bitcoin was dropping, like yesterday when there was that major crash, Ethereum was not that down because number one, a lot of activities are happening on NFTs. Number two, all the shit coins seems to be coming out of the grave, and there's a lot of activity going up in the DEXs and DeFi. So it has made Ethereum quite high. In terms of price projection, let me talk about this as well. So in terms of price projection for Ethereum, I think we will see 6,700 very, very soon. Very, very soon. Because now Ethereum has just succeeded today in breaking its former all-time high. So yeah, barring some correction to the 4K region, I think we should see a new all-time high, at least 5K. Ethereum is a good trade. It might not move at the same time as Bitcoin, but you can be sure that it's going to react definitely to Bitcoin price movement. And I think We've not seen anything else. I think when we will see the real craze, the market is when Bitcoin switches to 5 digits and sorry, 6 digits and becomes 100K. Then I think we're going to enter another level in the last phase of the bull run. So that's I mean, I have other charts, or most of those charts are altcoins that I'm looking at, generally speaking. So, but that's what I wanted to share today. Sorry, I don't have the slides as usual, but I just felt it's important to let everybody know that if you are playing in altcoins, I mean, sorry, playing in shitcoins, you should take out your money because party does not go on forever. That's just the truth. So take a look at this. This is 2.65. This was around where we were at the peak last month. Now we've gotten there and we're making it our support now. So you see all sorts of Squid Games, Catcoin, Green Moonzilla, Shibazilla, Godzilla, Dodgezilla, uh, Taboo Token, all sorts. And then you have Sheep at number 9. I mean, you can't be at number 9 and go any further. The worst that you can do, but the best that you can do at number 9. So at number 9, Sheep is 16 billion. No, that's not true. 41 billion, sorry. $41 billion at number 9. In fact, at some point, it flipped adult at some point during this week. So the only ones ahead outside Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course, is Binance Coin, Cardano, Solana, and XRP. Those are really, really major cap. I mean, these are 50 billion and excess. So if you have, I'm not saying you should sell your sheep. You can hold it for the next 4 years if you so desire. But if you are thinking of profiting from it, now is a good time to start taking some off, because this is not going to be forever. In fact, there used to be a functionality on, what is that? There used to be a functionality on CoinMarketCap that shows you history, historical prices. I can't remember. Yeah, historical snapshots. Very good. Just to corroborate what I'm just telling you now. So I'm going to show you 2020 August. Context: 2020 August was local peak for last year. So 20 August, market started crashing on that. Well, this is a snapshot. See, this is exactly what I was saying. This is the snapshot August last year. Top 10 coins. Binance was below Crypto.com, and Crypto.com was number 9. Then Bitcoin Satoshi Vision was number 8. Litecoin was number 7. Bitcoin Cash was number 6. Chainlink was number 5. And XRP was number 3. Cardano was 12. You can't see any of these guys now. They are not in top 10. So usually, that's why I said usually, when the coin enters top 10, it has to be a strong coin. If it's not a strong coin, it is definitely coming down, guaranteed. And that's because at top 10, your market cap is already, I mean, look at this market cap. Market was not even as hefty as it was back then, because even Bitcoin had 216 billion back then. So the market had been drained of funds. I mean, the number 10 was 3.4 billion. Now it's a bit different. Number 10 now is Dogecoin, $38 billion. I mean, notwithstanding the money printing has been going on with the US dollars. But what I'm saying is, if you hold a coin and the coin comes out of nowhere, and that was the principle. So when I said I was selling some of my Shiba, or most of my Shiba yesterday, it was on this principle that if you hold a coin and it's done I don't know how much. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know how much Shiba has done again this year, because if it's come from maybe like 300 number 400 in market cap, and it's now sitting at top 10, there's very little space. You can see there's very little space for it to go further, unless it's going to beat Solana, Cardano, XRP, and Polkadot. Can it? Yeah, maybe if it doubles in size and it doubles the market cap and becomes 80. If it becomes 80, then it will be rivaling Binance Coin at number 3, and maybe it will become number 4. But there's really not much room to grow after that. So you ask me, so what would you do? Yeah, I would go into things like issue and all the ones I've been mentioning since morning. All these funny ones, Godzilla, Elon, those ones are small coins. They don't have market cap yet, or they don't have significant market cap yet. They're just going to pump on the back of Ethereum's price gain in the coming months. So it's a better strategy to take the profit up, because that's what's going to happen. When the whales start selling their Shiba, all of a sudden Shiba will disappear from top 10. So you can see all those Tron that was there last year. None of them, except Binance. There is no Litecoin, no Crypto.com, no Bitcoin SV, no Bitcoin Cash, not even Chainlink. Cardano, that was even number 12, that was at back, is now the one that's top. So you now have newcomers like Matic, where Litecoin is now number 18. You have Matic, you have Terra, you have Uniswap, you have Avalanche. Chainlink, that was number 4, that was top 5, is now 15. So there is a money flow. When I talk about money flow between Bitcoin and altcoins, between altcoins, there's also money flow. When funds move from Bitcoin into altcoins, first goes into major caps. That has been the traditional moves. Goes into major caps, then go into medium cap, then from medium cap go to low caps. But what I see happening now is that immediately the money is moving from Bitcoin, it seems it's going into major caps and meme coins at the same time. And because meme coins are literally no cap, they don't really have any funds. So any little injection of funds is going to blow the price. And that's why all those coins are going crazy. So I'll give you a good example. What's this one's name? The one I was saying people should buy in the money. Dodge Elon Musk. Elon. That's his token name, Elon. This thing was at 283 this morning when I was saying people should buy it. And it was at 007 when I was saying people should buy it this morning. If I remember very well, yes. Somewhere here. Yeah, this morning, yeah, between 9 and 10, yeah. It was around 0008. And today, it's already done 155. What will happen is people will get to hear about it, or people checking out, because it showed up on crypto.com as top gainers at some point today. What you find out is that because one, let me show you something. Current market cap less than billion, 712 million. And even if you are to sell all the tokens right now, give you 1.2 billion. Because of that volume metrics and because of the noise, you are expecting that there will be a lot of buzz around it. Same thing goes for Dogecoin. Same thing goes for what's the other one that's Floki, yeah. So they don't do anything. Like somebody said, it's like putting your money into the slot machine in Las Vegas. It might come out, it might not come out. But yeah, for all it's worth, like the example I gave, if you put 500 pounds into Shiba at the beginning of the year, comfortably will have made you maybe like 500k, 500,000 pounds actually. Like I was telling somebody on this call, I was saying that the time I bought my first Shiba, it had already done 1,000x when I bought Shiba. And even at that, if I sold it at the peak, if I didn't sell any of it, I was selling it bit by bit since April. If I didn't sell any, and I sold them at the peak when Shiba was if I sold Shiba at the peak when it was here, 0.0008, will have made me like 120,000 from 700 or 500 pounds. So meanwhile, back in June, July, when July exactly, especially when we were at the depths of the bearish pullback, all my Shiba was worth less than thousand. I see was worth less than $1,000 thereabouts. So timing is everything. You need to know when to get in. You need to know when to get out. Otherwise, you're going to be holding the bags for a long time. I think I'm going to stop there for today. Thank you very much, everyone that has joined. If you have a question, do let me have it. I didn't even remember to bring the guys on Instagram on board today, unfortunately. Well, yeah, I'll probably just post it. I'll post it on YouTube and send it on Instagram. So if you have any questions, let's have it before we close out for today. Thank you. Good to put the face to the name. Yes, that's the face. But this is lockdown phase, man. My face used to be a lot thinner than this, but now too much sitting down on lockdown has contributed to this puffy face. So for those people who are asking that, will they rotate Bitcoin? Yeah, I think it rotates into the next one week at the minimum, because what I'm seeing, what this looks like is like Bitcoin is about to make a strong move upward. From what I see. Mama Sita, well, yeah, we never chop the profits now. Anyways, so it's definitely a strong. I think if anyone is thinking about putting their rotating their alt into Bitcoin, now may be a good time, because what's going to happen is October. Matic is a major hold. I sold all my Matic because he held my alt back down for a long time. The same thing with Cardano. He just sat down there and refused to move. So for me, for the rest of the bull run, the play is just Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and small cap alts. Outside of that, just pure trading. And that's because, as I've said, these guys are heavy. This um this top this top 10, oh gosh, I've closed the window. The top 10 cryptos, they're already heavy, very heavy in terms of market cap. And now, unlike last year or 2019, you had about 6,000 cryptocurrencies. Now you have like, I don't even know, check how much coin market cap doesn't even have all of where is that? Where do you have 13,000 13,332. That's coin market cap. If I open CoinGecko, it probably has CoinGecko has 10,000. Strange. CoinGecko used to have more coin registers than coin market cap. Anyways, coin market cap has 13,000. So 13,000 well-known cryptos. So there is a lot more room for the funds to go around this time. So I don't see. So Matic is probably, where is Matic? Matic is number 7, at 10 billion. Yeah, I think Matic is still going to grow. But I think there are other things that have potential. Yeah. So Matic was 250 or 240 at the end of um at the end of the peak earlier in the year. the expectation is that yes, it's still going to get to 250, which is $2.50. From where it is now at $2.12, it's not really significant, to be honest. It's not it's not in terms of ROI, it's not. I don't want to be here. I don't know if you get what I mean. I don't want to be here because think about it. If you enter here, or let's say you even had it from let's say you had it from here, which was 1.5 to 2.5 is less than 100%. But I mean, there are so many. Instead of doing this, I'll give you one. And I think I've already shared this on the WhatsApp group. Instead of doing that, why not this? So look at this chart now and look at uh, sorry, I think it might be better to okay, well let's use the linear chart. Look at this chart and look at the other one. Let me open another window to explain what I'm saying. So take a look at Matic versus internet computers. I mean, this is not taking anything away from Matic. Matic is all right as a token, solid use case, solid technology, solid but when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it in pure ROI, how much what's the yield? Money for money. If I put in 1,000, how much is it? So this is how Matic looks like. That's risen from. So the only people can say that yeah, they're going to make the bags. People who have been here since 2019 when Matic was selling 1 cent, 1.5 cents. So if you've not sold since then, yeah, I say well when it gets to here, it'll probably get to $5 at some point. When the blow off top happens. But instead of doing that, why not come to this one? So right now, Matic is. Let me show you something. Percentage from all-time high. Where's that stuff? All-time high. See, all-time high. Percentage from all-time high, 25%. Let me show you the same thing for ICP as an example. Did you see that? 94%. So to put it in context, what it means is that I only have about 30 or 50% gain from current price if I go back to all-time high on Matic. If I go back to all-time high on ICP, means at least 20x from current price. So, Chinelo, I think I've answered your question on Matic. Somebody said, am I suggesting that we should sell Shiba Inu? It's up to you. I've laid out, you know how Joshua said to the children of Israel that I lay before you today life and death, but I would advise you to choose life. But I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't advise you in the real sense of it. I'm in the UK, so I have to be careful of what I say on record. I can't advise you or what you should do, but again, I've lived before you life and death. You can hold on to your but maybe for another 100% growth, 200% growth. But what I'm saying is the headroom is very close. There's no more headroom for Shiba to grow. It's already on top 10. And I've just explained, I don't know whether you joined the call earlier, Lumavin, when I was trying to explain the snapshot of the top 10 in August last year versus top 10 now. Half of the guys in the top 10 last year are no longer there because they were coins that came from below 100 and made top 10 because of activity and pump and all that. And it's not sustainable. After a while, people will want to take their profit and go away. So, and then they'll start to drop out. So for a meme coin to have by the way, Shiba is supposed to be Dogecoin killer. That was the that was the intention of getting sheep, or well, that was their own intention that they want to be Dogecoin killer. But technically speaking, they've achieved their aim. Technically speaking, the aim of Shiba was to displace Dogecoin. Technically speaking, as you can see, Shiba is now 2 billion more in market cap than Dogecoin. So for me, as I said, I'm in the market for profit. I didn't come to like they say in Lagos. I didn't come to Lagos to count. I didn't come to the crypto market to befriend the tokens. I came to make profit. So you have to keep that in mind. That's what I'm saying. So whether you want to sell it now or you want to wait till when it starts falling before you sell it, it's all up to you. Do I think Cardano is worth holding on to? Cardano is worth holding on to. I mean, Cardano has retained top 20 for a while. Uh, strong ecosystem, layer one protocol, and they're starting to come up with smart contracts. So we'll see what it does in the next bull run. But like I've said, if you've listened to me for a while now, especially the last 5 weeks, I've said I'm not interested in holding the bags for any crypto. The only crypto I will have left at the end of this bull run probably Bitcoin. Every other thing is sold on approval. Um, that was, yeah, thank you, Dr. Larry, for that rule of 25, 25, 25. Anyways, if you if you have investments in meme tokens, make sure that you take your money out. They can, I mean, in fairness, they can make you a lot of money, and I've shared a number of them like Floki and Dozilla and all that. That they've really pumped, and they will still probably do a lot well in the coming months because Bitcoin has not finished its run, and no matter what anybody says, the price of Bitcoin is almost mathematically programmed. So it's inevitable that 100K is inevitable. Actually, I think 200K is inevitable, but conservatively, 100K is inevitable. Um, we might get to 200 or 200 plus or 300, but the market is not going to stay at those prices for long before people start selling off. There will be a huge sell-off. Just to say, there will be a huge sell-off. When we do get to 100K, there will be a huge sell-off because that's a very huge psychological level for the price of Bitcoin. Just like when we got to 50K, there will be a huge sell-off. So my hypothesis is that from where we are now, make a run, make a run to 70, 75-ish, and probably take another punch from 75 to former all-time high, which is 67. Then from there, I think we can sling for the 90s towards the end of let me use a proper ABC chart. ABC chart. So I think this leg that we're going on now take us to this region, then we'll pull back here, then we'll see somewhere around here before the end of November. So again, buy Bitcoin at the end of this can expect fairly well that you will make 25% on the price gain just month end to month end because of the way the price has been programmed. So yeah, this was what I was looking for the other time. Even though it was on this chart. This red line is the monthly curve. I don't know why it keeps disappearing. The monthly curve that I drew in, I remember, about the projectile of, oh, okay, I think I drew it on 3 months. I drew it on the quarterly chart. So it's a monthly projectile on the price of Bitcoin using a logarithmic scale. It's tricky. Super tricky. Yeah, so basic. Right. There's how do I do it? I usually so this line goes up. Uh, yeah, This line goes up to 271,722 as the peak price projection, price of Bitcoin. There is a method behind the madness, bro. I just don't know why the chart is behaving funny today. I'll leave that. But that projection is based on the logarithmic scale and it's been following this. So using the weekly charts, I started drawing this in the month of June, and I said I expected that price was going to follow this curve and make a parabolic run. Well, literally just 1 month outside that parabola, I think we're going to follow that parabola back and probably go all the way into the end of 2021, of 20. I think by the end of this year we'll be done with the book. Early January will just be blow off top for altcoins and shit coins and everything in between. So what of those coins you told us, like KSM? Yes, KSM is still going to pump, and the reason KSM is going to pump, let me show you. Because in fact, KSM will start pumping in November because there's a lot of activity on the Polkadot. What do they call it? Polkadot parachain auction. That parachain auction was supposed to come out, I think, in June. Then the market crashed and they stopped. So now they're planning to bring it back. And the reason they want to bring it back, of course, is because now there's a lot of attention. People are hearing about Bitcoin. Everybody wants to invest in crypto. Everybody's talking about NFT and Metaverse. So now they're probably going to launch in November. When they launch in November, everything that is in the Polkadot ecosystem, KSM, Etentry, Trello, what's the name of this other one? I can't remember. Everything in Polkadot ecosystem, everything will come. So what I'm seeing here, in the near term is 640, which is previous all-time high. But on the longer time frame, just give me a second, I need to do some carpentry calculation. That's two. In the longer time frame, yes, and expect that KSM will get to 9%. And we've always said that we expect KSM to get to 1K. So definitely, I'm not in doubt that KSM will get to 1K because previous all-time high was already 600. So the minimum we can do off the back of previous all-time high is almost double it. So if you double that, it'll take you to 1,200. So KSM is still going to get to those figures. Might not stay at those figures, but you can expect it to get to those figures. And like I said, one last thing I'm going to say before I close for the all the coins are not going to pump at the same time. They may be pumping by categories, or they may be pumping by use cases. So for instance, you notice that NFTs were pumping before the last crash. The same thing with DeFi before them. So it was DeFi, NFT, then meme coins. Now it's meme coins. Before you know it, we might switch into DeFi or switch into NFT. You just find all the NFT coins pumping. Then all of a sudden later you see that DeFi coins are pumping. Then maybe it's the, what's it called? It's the ecosystem coins like AVAX, Cardano, Ethereum that are pumping in their categories. So there is that money flow that moves between various types of crypto. And that's why I say you need to be sensitive. If again, I'm talking about Shiba because I've seen the price of Shiba, not just Shiba, I've seen the price of shit coins that I held crash. Some of them went minus 99.9 in the last few months. So you don't want to be holding the bags. It's not necessary when you can take the profits off the table. So I think that's for all the questions I have today. Thank you very much. If there are no other questions, I'll be happy to release you for the evening. No, no more questions, Doctor. What of game token? What is that? Come on, what's that? Game token. What's the ticker? I've seen all sorts of coins this week. Some of them I've never heard before. Game token. There are different games token. I don't know. There's Games Credit, Game.com, GameStar. Oh, Games token, generally speaking. Well, Games token are part of the NFT and metaverse category. So Axie Infinity, Decentraland, uh what's the name of this other guy that they sell? There's a token that is related to Decentraland. I can't remember the name. Chiliz, Veracity. Most of the NFTs are related to games. Yes, so what shall he profit in that? Best without taking. There's no point. Really, there's no. But what I'm just saying is this is the point bull market where you need to be sensitive. If you see any coin pumping, just watch out for the category of that coin. If other coins in that category are pumping, then might be time to take a little profit. Just a little off the table because it might not have the opportunity to pump as much as that. So, for instance, and the reason I'm using Shiba is because I've seen many coins get to number 9. For instance, even just before the crash on July was top 9. I was wondering where did this coin come? This thing, but that was the first time I was seeing it. You need to be sensitive when you see tokens popping up to top 10 because what it means is that getting to the plateau of. I mean, there's no other pump level you want to get to outside top 10. So you need to be quite sensitive about it and don't get carried away with how fat your portfolio has become. Like some people here now, I know that the portfolio is very clear. So just don't get carried away. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Mama Sita. That I was showing you a flashback of CRO. CRO did us dirty. He did us dirty last year. Flashback of CRO was where is that stuff? Flashback of CRO was yeah, it was number 9. And I mean it came from like 98 or 103, 120. That's number 9, all in the space of like 4 months. And we were buzzing, and all of us were excited that our dear CRO is going to make us only for CRO to call our hands. So be very careful. Yeah, that was why I went because I remember very, very vividly August 2020, just before that crash, September. August 2020, PRO was number 9. And that's it. This is the flashback. This is the flashback. This is CRO number 9, selling at 17 cents. Yes, so it was CRO that time. We were thinking $1, right? We had bags of CRO, lots of CRO there. Anyways, for another day. So very careful. Very careful. Any coins that shows up on this top 10 from anywhere that was not there before, definitely it has reached its peak. Let's not go on a CRA, yes. Let's not open old wounds. Anyways, just be careful. I mean, yeah, you're entitled to your own investments. Mine is just to explain, what has happened before and what is likely to play out. So it's what it is in terms of market cap. When anything crosses into top 10 and it wasn't there before, not to now say, meme token, get it. It can't, number one, if it stays there, then it means that all other tokens are losing their value and nobody's kicking it out. It stays at top 10. So like Dogecoin is still there because many people still believe like, okay, Elon Musk has Dogecoin, so because of that, Dogecoin is going to. Dogecoin is already heavy. Dogecoin is inflationary. It's the most inflationary thing you can get, and it's already sitting at 38 billion. And they are producing 10 million Dogecoin every day. Or 10 billion is 10 billion. Some crazy amounts of Dogecoin being generated every day. So don't get carried away. I know many of you have big bags, but don't get carried away. Don't let 2022 meet you with your bag.
Thank you very much, Dr. Odumi. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. I just want to make comments. I can remember really in May, before the crash in May, when I saw my portfolio and I was like, oh, by Christmas, oh, it will be better than this. But I can tell you categorically that since that crash, I've not gotten back to that level again. Though it's closer, but it's not yet at that level. Now, I was watching, of course, I always go on YouTube to look at video. There's one advert, whenever I click on that, on any YouTube video, said, take profit. You can only go bankruptcy if you don't take profit. I say take profit again. Take profit. Now, I also, those guys that own CoinGecko, the guy said, after holding any token for 3 to 6 months, and he has made up to 300% to 500%, I usually sell 25% first. He said he will convert it to dollar and go and save it in his bank account in dollar, not in crypto. That is still dangerous, even if it's still in digital money. Anything can happen to it and disappear. People can hack it and take the money away. So I think I learned a lot of lessons there. I was telling some friends that probably God sent that guy to me, but I didn't listen. Any time for more than 5 days before that crash, whenever I open any video, they take profit. As if the guy knew that something will happen. And since that crash, I've not recovered up to that level. I left my CoinGecko portfolio. I didn't edit it since that time. So I created another portfolio in CoinMarketCap, and that's the one I'm monitoring now. Moving up and down, joining full hiding things that's never got to that level. So it's dangerous. Let's just take profit, and it's money that we have at hand that's our home. So that's just my own. Absolutely. I learned a lesson then, and as I am now, I've taken profit more than 4 weeks ago. I have some in Bitcoin, and that one I won't invest in meme coin or anything. So those are my words, because it's a big lesson to me. I told him that I called Dr. Demi often because of what happened there. So let's just be careful and have money in our real account.
Because it will, like I said, it will get back to that level. But by the time it gets back to that level, the distribution of the flow of the money will be different. So, for instance, coming from my own portfolio, my portfolio was heavy on the odds before going into that crash. And of course, it was growing. I was thinking, if this thing grows at the rate we are thinking, we will all be very, very rich at the end of the year. But now, because they were odds, when the crash happened, most of the hogs took like 80, 70, 90% drop in value. So it took a hard fall, harder than the value of Bitcoin itself. Even though Bitcoin, dropped like 50%, most of them dropped 90, 80%. They will still come back, but usually by the time they come back, it's like maybe like a month to the end of bull run. They will come back to their all-time high, probably do double of it before closing out. But what I'm saying is, for any one of them, in fact, I've had to close some of them out at losses because I was like, I'm not just going to keep holding on to this token. Even though some of them are going to bite me, like I was saying, I don't know, I was saying that, for instance, Shiba, I sold probably like 1/4 of my Shiba, they lost because I sold it because I was like, oh, this thing is not moving. I need to move the money to something else. I sold it, then Shiba started to move. So they will move at different times, but if you have tokens that have moved and have moved back into profit, you need to scrape off the profits. And especially, and I'm saying it again, especially before this year ends. If you enter 2022 without taking profit, I mean, you're entirely on your own, because I'm not saying the bull run wouldn't extend beyond January 2022. It might go into February or even March, but be rest assured that the market is going to drop, and when it drops, it's going to drop hard, like really brutally hard. Might not last for long, but you will feel it. If you are not taking profit before that time, you will feel it when the market drops, because it is the end of the bull run and it's the beginning of the bear market. And for people who have been around since 2017, they will tell you that bear market is not a good story. I mean, the market is just flat. Like the whole market cap is like less than 10% of its former value. So all the whales have cashed out. They're probably sitting in some tropical island and sipping pina colada and just chilling, waiting for the next 4 years while you are holding the bags. He said some of our wives told us, yes, our wives told us we didn't sell in May. Now we have wised up. We will sell before they tell us. Anyways, what's my view on Coty? Coty is actually very good. You see, let me tell you something. Any token that is not top 10 right now, as in right now, any token that is not top 10 right now is still going to do at least 100% before the end of the year. It's very hard for it not to do 100%. Any token that is not top 10 right now still has capacity to do 100x, I mean 2x. And that's because the price of Bitcoin is still going to balloon. And because the price of crypto generally is tethered to the value of crypto, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like the index currency. It's just like saying US dollar is the index currency for the world. So every economy is valued in terms of their US dollar value. So if your economy is doing well, then your exchange rate will start to be good with the US dollar, because every economy is calibrated with the US dollar. If your economy is doing badly like that of Nigeria, you see that the dollar value of your currency will be very terrible. So if Bitcoin's value goes up, as it always do, and I mean, it's going to start sitting at above 100K very soon, every other crypto will rise. What it also means is that that price is going to come down. And I think I've explained this before, that because of this algorithmic programming of the price of Bitcoin, is always going to go up. Whales and people who have very large stash have found a way to cash in and cash out on the market. And the way they do it is when they know that, for instance, Bitcoin is going to add another digit to end the bull run, then they're going to pump the price. The reason they pump the price is they can't sell at 100K and make good profits. So they are better off selling at 400. And at 400, everywhere will be crazy. The news will be carrying it there. I mean, Bitcoin has done, 20 or 10x since the beginning of the year. Everybody wants to buy Bitcoin at that point in time. So for them, that's the good time to sell. So they start selling. But the euphoria will be long lasting. For people who are just coming in, they will think, oh, I need to buy this Bitcoin now that everybody's talking about it. But for the old timers, they know that, it's time to move on. So they cash out on the market. And when the biggest boys have cashed out, that's when the smaller boys realize that, oh, the big boys have cashed out. They need to start cashing out little by little. So when everybody starts cashing out little by little, then Bitcoin comes back to its pre-all-time high price. At that time, maybe it would be 60K or 57. I think that's probably the lowest price it would be next bear market. Imagine selling at 200 and buying back at 7. That's how the whales have been playing the game. So what I'm telling you is, don't be the movement. I take on Floki and Kishu. Tanya, I don't know if you caught the earlier part of the discussion. I have it on YouTube Live on CryptoPulse Weekly channel. But what I've said is meme tokens are meme tokens. Meme tokens are pumping right now. You can make quick money. Like Tolu is not here. I was chasing ADX on Binance. You can make quick money. You can put in $100 today and get 200 before tomorrow morning. Understand that. Good evening. Yes, we're in this to make money, not to fall in love with any tokens. That's just the truth. Of all the assets, only Bitcoin is secure. Let me just say that it's the only Bitcoin that we know today that cannot be rug pulled. Meaning,
Doc.
Yeah. Sorry. How about? Do you have a question?
Yes. I also want to share an experience. Yes, I was. Hello, good evening, Doc. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I say I also want to share my experience like the previous speaker also away before the crash in me, my portfolio went down more than 50%. Sometimes some of our leaders are, on the other platform are also not helping much. Sometimes they will tell you, hey, this coin can do this coin can do this. So you also, when it comes, you are also waiting that, since the prediction is that maybe it can do $100 at the end of the bull run, so you are also waiting at least you get to maybe 50 before you cash out. So before you realize, boom, everything is down. Then this month, Tika Tiwaris, this 5 million coins to $5 million. People subscribe and they are waiting for within 12 to 24 months. And 12 to 24 months has passed. And I don't think anybody holding these coins has even done half of that amount that he predicted. And sometime also before this thing comes out that people should start taking profits before you see the whole market will crash, before you realize everything is going down. So as you have said, until it's going up, if you have to be taking profits, it's good. And we thank you very much for this wonderful education. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, you need to understand that the modus operandi of because outfit is that they are operating like a venture capital research firm. So usually they'll go after the project, they'll do due diligence, talk to the team, try to find out what they're doing, which is how you would do due diligence when in the real world or in the old traditional world, when a company wants to get into venture capital investments or they're trying to go into seed funding. But I found out that what has happened for them actually is that the market has actually evolved a bit faster than them. I mean, largely their predictions are accurate and their forecasts are fairly okay. But the market has moved a bit faster than them in that many of the coins that they predicted and they make the calibrations on in terms of valuation, there have been influx in those same categories that have diluted the valuation. Very good example is Engine. Engine has done more than 500% from the original prediction. 500% in the real world is a lot of money. Considering the fact that then he said he should put in $500 or thereabouts. $500 times let's say times 8. That's 4,500. Now, in the real world, that's a lot of money because if you had 1,000 in it, means that it's done it's done almost 6,000, 7,000. But in the new world of crypto, that's really nothing significant because there are meme tokens that are just being pushed on the basis of hype that are snapping up those figures like that. So whilst the basis of their research and their analysis is correct, the market itself, the industry itself has evolved on that model. So many of the tokens that we talked about, many of them have gotten overrun by competitors completely. Very good example is Crypterium. Crypterium, based on projection, then Crypterium was supposed to blow like crazy. I saw my Crypterium, I think last year. Last year. I'm like, this thing is not performing according to what
Crypterium. Hi.
Yeah. That it wasn't performing according to what they said it was going to do that. Is either the team is dissolved, they're having problems, or they are getting overrun by competition. And that's exactly what happened. They got overrun by Crypto.com and the likes. So now Ethereum is just my Crypterium is just three. I left about $100 worth. It's just 3%. Just go back to 3% in profit when I checked it about a few days ago, since last year. Meanwhile, $100 in Shiba since last year would have made me a millionaire. It's a day of revelations indeed. Yeah. I mean, it's good to make an assessment and gauge where we are in terms of where are we in the cycle. We're close to the end of the cycle. We can't kid ourselves. We're close to the end of the cycle. Give or take, we have 3 months left. That 3 months is actually fast a stretch. I think it's more like two and a half. So whatever price gains doesn't happen in the next 10 weeks, absolutely in the next 10 weeks, whatever price gains does not happen in the next 10 weeks, I'm not interested. I'll probably just go and sit down with my day trading at low gem caps for the next bull run. So anyone that's just coming out, just be buying and stacking, and maybe stacking things like Solana ecosystem, AVAX, and what's that other one? Atom, and all those other ecosystem coins against the next bull run. But frankly, and it's also a 50-50 bet. So for instance, the reason Ethereum was able to scale was because one, it came after Bitcoin and it came in a different category. So when people say Bitcoin is gold, say Ethereum is oil because it has ubiquitous in its usage. You can do so many things with Ethereum. But what also started happening was when Ethereum started growing, then you now started having competitors. First on the radar was Cardano. And Cardano, the guys in Cardano and the guys in Polkadot used to be part of the Ethereum group. So the direct competitors, they're trying to do the same thing. Then off the back of those guys, some other younger guys started creating ecosystems as well. And before you knew it, DeFi spun out of that. Before you knew it, now you have NFT. Now when people are talking about metaverse and virtual reality and all that stuff. So because of the evolution of the industry, many of these projects are getting overrun very quickly. And that's why I said the only secure asset is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the reason for the industry in the first place. Without Bitcoin, none of this will have succeeded in happening. So at the end of the day, Bitcoin is still like the base currency. If you choose not to sell at the end of this bull run, if you choose not to sell your Bitcoin even at the peak, it will crash down to probably current price at the depth of the bear market. Or you can be sure that by the peak of the next bull market, it will be nothing close to where it was now. Just like at the peak of the last bull run was 19,700, and everybody was like, "Oh, Bitcoin, all-time high," and even till last year, everybody was shouting all-time high of 20K. Now 20K is you can't even see 20K in the rear mirror anymore. So the same vein, in another 4 years, 50K will be like something in the distant future. So I think it's time to calibrate. Like I said, I'm still contemplating whether I will have that class. I want to have a final class on preparing for the bear market. I'm still contemplating. I don't know if I'll have the time and if there'll be enough people interested. I'm still contemplating, but basically the class about setting up yourself for the bear market, because there will be bear markets and there are things to do to optimize your portfolio in the bear market so that by the next bull run, you too will have become a whale, as they say. Anyways, I think it's a good time to say good night to everyone. Have a lovely weekend. And see you again. Oh yeah, see you again next week. This weekend we're going back on the time in the UK. So to still be 7 p.m. GMT, but now to be 8 p.m. UK from next week. So from next week, Crypto Pulse will be 8 p.m. UK, 7 p.m. West African time. The week after the next, I will not be available because my father's burial is that day and the day after. So I will not be available second week in November. But for next week, definitely we'll have first edition in November.
Yes,
Thank you
we'll
very
be spending crypto there.
I don't know.
Oh, we are waiting for you. All right.
All right, guys. Have a lovely week.
Are